Hey friends, my name is Anastasia and I am your resident reflector. And every week I get on here and I chat with you about all the things that I have been thinking about, noticing in my community with the intention of sharing my gifts with the world and the intention of helping you maybe not feel so alone. Maybe there are things that you're currently going through or you've been thinking about and you're like, oh my gosh, it's not just me. I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. It is not just you. So here's some patterns that I've been thinking about and talking about, working through this week. The first one, and I just want to kick things off, with a bang. I've been thinking so much about the difference between solitude and isolation. Now, you hear those two words and you probably think they're the same thing. In both cases, you are alone. But I want to challenge you and say solitude is, yes, you might be the only person in the room, but you still feel connected to humanity. You feel like you're a part of this puzzle. You feel divinely connected to God. In moments of solitude, you're able to really just like breathe deeper, feel like you're more connected to everything going on around you, but still in a state of silence and stillness and replenishment. Solitude is about replenishment. You still feel like you believe and you know that you are a part of the collective and a valuable part of the collective in solitude. Isolation is where it gets really tricky. And I think it's important to separate these two. Isolation is where you feel detached from, separate from, cut off from, cut apart, set apart. I don't know if you want to. You're separated, detached from your community. You no longer feel like you belong. You no longer feel like you're connected. You feel like maybe there's guilt, maybe there's shame, lots of shame in isolation. And isolation tells us we don't belong. So I want you to kind of think about this in your day to day as you're living your life. Like maybe you find yourself alone. Think about, am I in a season of solitude, or have I turned this, or has this turned into a season of isolation? If solitude, power to you, baby girl. I want you to use the silence and stillness and solitude to get deeper connected, more grounded, learn yourself, discover more about yourself, replenish yourself so that you can join the collective once again and feel like the fullest, most authentic, healthy expression of who you are. If you find yourself in a season of isolation, I encourage you to get help, get support. Okay? Reach out to a therapist, a counselor, a trusted friend, a trusted mentor, and tell them, hey, I think my season of solitude may have turned into isolation. I'm feeling like I don't belong for one reason or another. I'm feeling cut off from my community completely. There's shame here. There's guilt here. There's fear here. These are really powerful and brave conversations to have, and they're so necessary. I don't want you living one day thinking that you don't belong here. We need you. We need you. And also, we're all just trying to figure this shit out. Okay? So think about this, the difference between solitude and isolation. All right. Next, I want to talk to you about a talk that I gave with a couple of friends of mine. And the talk was all centered around feeling loneliness in your singlehood. And it was for an audience of people who want renewed hope. Maybe they're in their single experience and they're like, is this ever going to end? Maybe it's hard for them to work through all of those emotions. Maybe there have been some toxic situations, some relationships that have ended. Whatever it might be, I first of all want to let you know your girl has been there. I've been there, and I have 5 things that I've learned navigating through these experiences. The first, singleness is an incredible opportunity to begin the work of being in right relationship with yourself. I'm going to repeat that. Singleness is an incredible opportunity to begin the work of coming into right relationship with yourself. Do you want to be a better partner? Come into right relationship with yourself. Do you want to be a better boss? Come into right relationship with yourself. A better friend, a better sister, a better coworker, a better fill in the blank. Do you want to be a better blank? Do you want to show up in the world in the fullest expression of who you are? Then you must come into right relationship with yourself. And I use the word begin because this is a work that you will do the rest of your life. In all seasons, in all relationship statuses, singleness is a great opportunity to begin the work of coming into right relationship with yourself. Think about that. I say that because it's easy to think, oh, I'm single. Like, what am I supposed to do with this time? I guess I'm just supposed to wait around for Mr. or Mrs. Right to come into the picture and just sweep me off my feet, make me forget all my woes. And it's easy to think like, oh, I'm lonely now, but I'm only lonely because I'm single. Once I'm not single, I won't be lonely anymore. And the answer is, the reality is this. You can be lonely single and you can be lonely in a relationship. It's true. So the grass is not always greener on the other side, my girls, my guys. So I want you to think about this as singleness. If this is the season you're in, begin the work of coming into right relationship with yourself. And if you are not in your single season, continue the work of coming into right relationship with yourself. The second thing is you can decide what your single experience looks like. And I want you to paint the most beautiful mosaic of what you want your single experience to look like. Do you want to travel? Do you want to write? Do you want to form friendships all over the world, all over the country? Do you want to take yourself out on romantic dates? Do you want to go to jazz shows? Do you want to be involved in a small group? Do you want to be involved in like recreational sports in your community? Do you want to volunteer? Like, what do you want to do with your single experience? It can look like anything. Anything. Do you want to go on dates? Maybe you just want to get out there and you just want to date. No pressure. Date. What do you want your single experience to look like? Do you want to study? Do you want to use this time to just learn and soak up so much of this human experience? Like, what do you want to do? I want you to get creative about this. And I also want to say that we receive what we perceive. So if you're perceiving your single experience to be this terrible, horrible, no good, downright friggin' annoying experience, like that is what you will receive, my friends. So we receive what we perceive. So I want you to get curious, get excited. I want you to perceive your single experience like this adventure. And I want you to receive that. So, number 3 is, this is probably one of the most important ones. Did we freeze? Oh no, I think we froze. Well, maybe we didn't. Anyway, I want you to change the conversation that you're having around relationships, singleness. Change the conversation. Because the reality is, like, oftentimes what we do by having these negative conversations around dating or singleness or fill in the relationships, all the things, we create this self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's hard for us to ascend, to go higher, to have a fuller human experience when we're so caught up in these low-level energies, toxic conversations around this or that. And so the first step sometimes is often just changing the conversation around the experience that you're having. You change the conversation and you watch as your reality can change as well. The number 4 thing is going with the flow and learning how to hold yourself through the rhythms of your human experience, learning how to hold yourself through the seasons of your life, learning your rhythms and honoring them. And I think that's so important for all of us, especially for us women. 5 and final, believe that everything that you've prayed for, everything that you desire, that you're dreaming, that you're working toward, is coming to you right now, on its way to you right now, with bonuses. With bonuses. I want you to believe in your heart that everything that you've been praying for, that you desire, that you dream, the vision you have for your life that feels so aligned, I want you to believe that it is on its way to you right now with bonuses. So, to sum it all up, relax into this experience that you are having, and just be prepared to be surprised and delighted by God through this experience. Love you so much. There's always more that I can share, but I feel like this is a great place to leave it. Obviously, put some notes in the comments, things that came up for you this week or resonated with you as you're listening. Maybe you're listening at a later date and some of these things still resonate. That rhymed. Hello. Lastly, subscribe so you can get these weekly hangs with me. And have a great day.